Okay, welcome back again. We'll start with a few other things in project management accounting. Let's get started. So previously we have discussed about entries, how the bookings will be posted, how what is the invoice entry at the time of our, for the hour journal, expense journal, as well as item journal, fee journals. Okay, these are the things we have discussed in the previous sessions. What happened to this? So now we are going by uh, journal name creation, which we already discussed, but I want to show you once again how the journal names will be created, from where the journal names will be created for the hour journal, expense item, as well as fee journals. Let's start this. Okay, let's start with the journal names, from where and how to create. This we already created. I'll just show you from where. Our journal, it will be created from the project management accounting. Our journal will be created from the project management accounting journal names. So journal names. So this is the place for a hour journal, when you create a journal name for the hours, you need to select the journal type as hour. Then it will appear in the journal name, then it will appear in the form, our journal creation, otherwise it won't create. So same way fee journal also, it will be created from the project management account. Types should be fee journal, otherwise it won't appear while creating the particular journals. Okay, that's the thing. So same thing I have mentioned here. And expense journal, next is expense journal. Expense journal will be journal name will be created from the uh, general ledger. So if, when you go to the journal ledger, journal names, see here, project expense type should be project expense. This is the only thing you need to make sure, otherwise it won't appear while creating the expense journal. Okay, next is this fee journal. I just told you, in the project management accounting will create the fee journal. Type should be fee journal type. So item journal, let me explain few other points here. Our journal is basically used for posting the hours, time spent for that particular project. Okay. Then item journal, it will be created from the inventory management module. So basically our fee and beginning balance journal, it will be from project management accounting. Expense journal, it will be from general ledger, and item journal, it will be from inventory management. See, this is the one you're supposed to take type as a project, otherwise it won't appear in the journal form. Then beginning balance journal, in the project management journal name form, type should be beginning balance. Okay. And project approval journal we can create from the project approval, a project management journal approval. Here we'll select what is required at the time of that particular status. For example, approved status, when the journal is in approved status, just check the journal, only that is allowed, not able to edit anything. And we next is post, next step is post. Enter, while entering the journal, check the journal, editing also allowed. Then next step is approved. So first is enter, check the journal, editing also possible, and then it is approved stage. When it went to approved stage, checking the journal only, post it. Then post thing, you can ready for posting, check the journal, that's it, approvers. Okay, next topic is that project adjustments. Oh god, what happened to this? I have added few other things. Okay. Project adjustment we can do from the periodic adjust transactions or from the specific project main step adjust transactions. We can do from the posted transactions adjust transactions as well. Uh, then we'll get the top one screen will receive and original transactions bottom change category. Multiple adjustments we can do from the periodic session. Okay, then you can adjust the project's transactions individually, or you can select the multiple transactions at the time at a time in the list of all projects transactions. Project adjustments are used for example to mass update of billable status, recalculate cost after configuration change, or update funding sources. So these are some of the examples. If you want to update the billing status, or if you want to once configuration changed, and if you want to do the changes, then you can do the adjustments. And how we can do adjustment is that by using the adjust transactions phase, can access the project adjust transaction form. So So let me go to D365 and show you project management. Adjust transactions under transactions. Click here and select. You can give the criteria what type of transactions need to be included and what type of projects need to be included. Okay, these are the this is original transaction, and okay, this is one place you can adjust. For example, if you want to adjust this transaction, adjust it. If you want to change the line property, you can change from here. Otherwise, if you want to change any other details, click OK. And if you want to change the category, you can do that. And here, if you want to change the quantity, any details, if you want to change it, you can change it. And line property, if you want to change it, you can change it. For example, uh, I'll go with cost price of 100 rupees and post it. So this is the journal updated for transaction ID. This is the one. So the entry has been new transactions are created PMA 001. So that is the new transaction was created after adjustment. You can check in the project transactions as well. Okay. And next stage is that Next is that you can adjust the transaction from the specific project as well. From all projects you have manage tab. Under manage tab we will have manage tab, we have adjust transactions. From this screen also you can do that as well. Select it and you will get you can provide the parameters that you want to get transactions, and select it. It will come here and you can adjust it in the same way as I explained previously. Okay, this is one more way of doing it. And all projects transactions also you have this option. If you go to posted transactions, you have under process you have adjust transactions. This is already adjusted, so it's not coming here. You can adjust from this screen as well. So how, when these adjustments are allowed means it is from the parameters you need to enable the adjustments setups. So if you go to parameters, so in the parameter level, when you want to adjust it, allow adjust of transaction status, when it is posted, invoice proposal, invoice, after invoice, estimated. So you can provide when you want to adjust. If you want to create always adjustment transactions, you can enable this as well. Okay, this is example of the transaction status include posted transactions, invoiced, eliminated transaction. Any transaction status that is set to no will have transactions in the status that won't appear in the adjustment process. Okay, that is okay. A configuration option that is named always create adjust transactions is currently available in the project management accounting parameters. You can disable this option to update the original transaction instead of creating new transactions during the adjustment. In the subset of scenarios, it has been announced. So if you want to adjust to the original transactions, this disable this option to update the original transaction instead of creating new. So it will update the original transaction only if you disable that option. So that's why it won't create any other transaction. It just update the original transaction. If you enable it, you'll get the transactions that is depreciated by March 23rd. After system always behave as if the option is enabled. That means every time it will create the new transactions. Adjustment process flow, open project adjustment phase, select the transactions and provide the criteria that you want to adjust and post it. So this is the process. Select, you'll get the transactions, select the transactions, then adjust it, then post it. So this is from the parameter level. If for what type of stages you want to enable this adjustment feature. So this is the same thing, updated adjustment parameters. So we have description here. Always create adjustment transactions. This is anyway we just discussed. If this parameter is enabled, the adjust transaction will always create a new reversing transaction and new adjustment transaction when there is a final a financial or reporting impact. If the parameter is disabled, the adjustment process will be updated to the original transaction instead of creating its reversal and new transaction for the scenario such as updated of the transaction types. Auto update field, if this parameter enabled, the system will always recalculate the cost price and sales price. Use adjustment date as new date, new project. This parameter is used to move the transactions into a future physical period before the system supported this function. Before the system supported this function, we won't recommend that you to use it because it changes the business date of transactions and will depreciate it in future releases. So they are going to depreciate it. So allow closing activities. Usually transactions cannot be created for closed activities. If the parameter is enabled, that behavior is overridden. Therefore, adjustments can be created for closing activity. Closed activity. So next is periodic multiple adjustments. Specific project, select project, adjust transactions. This is one way, and project posted transaction, adjust transactions. So this is another way. Then adjustment setups, we have parameters. We already discussed about this. In the parameters we have option to enable the project adjustment functionality. And project validation, used to control the recording project transactions like workers hours, expenses, items, etc. Used to control recording by using the validations. So first is that this is the place where you want to enable the validation. In the project management parameters, we have three types of validations: project category, project resources, category resources. So project category resource, project resource as well as category. These are the three combinations where you need to enable the validation. So these parameters determine the restriction for entry into the journals and timesheets for any validation connection that you set up for the workers, projects and categories. You must choose the following three options. Any one of the three options. We have none, all projects or categories, project workers and category workers are shown. You can so we look up a filtered list of project category or project resources and category worker is shown. So here if you select the none, all it will show all combinations. If you select lookup, it will filter the list of project categories, project workers and category workers is shown, a filtered list. Okay, valid options that are not in the list can be entered. Mandatory, a specific list of projects categories, project workers and category of workers is shown. Only options that appeared in the list can be selected. Here this one and lookup and mandatory difference is that we have filtered option, but filter list of project categories, project workers and category workers, but it will shown we can select the different one as well. in the mandatory, a specific list of project categories, category workers and workers projects are shown. Only those can be selected. So, example, you can create a group of junior sales personnel in the worker category form and add it to the all junior sales people and all categories for transactions that can be entered by the sales personnel. Next, in the project management accounting parameters, general area in the category worker field, you need to select the mandatory. As a result, when the junior salesperson enters the transaction line in the expense journal form, only the categories that are defined for the sales junior sales personnel group are available. In connection to the categories that are specified for the junior sales personnel group, you can add extra categories for the worker in the group. These workers can be selected from the additional categories when they record expense transactions. So validation connections. So from how to validate the connections, you can associate a worker and project from either from the worker form or from the project form. However, the result of adding the validation group from worker form or project form differs depending on the form that you use to add the group. Either a project is made available for the group of workers or a group of projects is made available for one worker. So from the project screen, you have a plan tab here. You have validations, assign resources and assign categories. So project validation work assignments. Once you click the validation of resources or categories, you'll get the resources here, and you can move the remaining resources to selected resources. In the project validation worker assignments form, select the worker tab, select the legal entity from which you want to assign the workers. Project validation categories assignment form. This is category validation. You can select the categories. Note, the legal entity field is available only if the intercompany timesheet suppose has been enabled for the legal entity. Note, this control is available only in the case installed. For worker from the worker form, you can go to the worker project tab, assign projects or assign resources. We have option, assign projects and assign categories. We have option. You can select any one and assign the select the projects, and if you select the category, assign the categories to the project. And for a category level, you have category setup, and there you can assign the projects. Select the validation groups. So these are the validation groups: project category validation groups, resource project validation group, and resource category validation group. Three project category, project resource, and resource category. So these are the three validation groups. Resource project validation groups will have the resource, all the resources available here, and you can select the resources whatever required, and projects and selected project. These are the projects will be available with these resources. So that is the meaning behind that. Enable validation parameters. So in the project, all projects, go to that project and uh, edit it. If you edit the project, you will have a setup option called enable category validation. So validation setup of project category validation group from now applies to the current project. Click project management and accounting setup validations, project category validation group. So worker from how to map the project setup. Once you click on that, you need to map the you need to enable the validation, project validation, enable category validation from here itself. About project periods, uh, so we'll maybe so testings we need to do. We'll stop till here. In the after half an hour or 1 hour, I'll start with testing these validations. uh, Maybe otherwise we'll complete these things validation topic and we'll come up with the testing. That will be good, I think. This is something, three types of validations. Okay. Okay, till here we'll read it once, remaining pending things, then we'll come up with the testing how it will behave in D365. So here we are here, and in the worker from resource setup we have validations here: enable project validation, enable category valid, parameter combination overview, what to select here, and about project periods. Project periods are used primarily with the project timesheets, but they are also used when you work with estimates and invoice subscriptions. Project periods for the timesheets. Project periods are used to define the length of the timesheet period. They are also used to generate the timesheet reports, including missing timesheet reports, and calculate the hour utilization. Workers are required to submit the timesheet at the end of the period. It is mandatory to assign the periods to the workers, but we recommend that you to create and assign the project periods to worker who registered hours transactions. These project periods make easy to track the hour transactions that are entered for the same period. You must assign the period type and period frequency to each project period that you created. For example, if hours are reported weekly, create a period type and assign period frequency week to it. So this is the place where we can create the period. Organization administration. So here period type employee weekly, and we have selected frequency weekly, and starting of the week is month. So we have these many types of frequencies: ledger period, week, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly. So these are the options we have available. Project periods for estimates. Are used to estimate system to recognize revenue for an estimate period in the fixed price project. The project period that you assign to an estimate is used to specify the estimate frequency. So these estimates and all anyway we'll discuss later. setting up periods. So this is the way to setting up the periods. Create period types and generate the you can split the periods as required. For example, a week that extends across 2 months can be split into two periods. You can do that, those things from here. So you have split option here. Manage workers in projects, create new worker, project setup. So these things will test and will come to know how it is behaving. So then creating the timesheet, those things we'll discuss in the next session by uh, testing it together. Okay, these are the validation things. Okay, we'll complete this one today. I'll stop here. Just it's overview session. Anyway, we'll come to know uh, in the testing session how it is behaving.